G'day guys, today we'll be installing that Bullbar onto that vehicle. The vehicle is a 2018 Toyota Hiace, but it's a Japanese import. So we have these brackets here. There's two of them. I believe it's one for each side on the Bullbar, and I assume they get fitted something like this. Something like that, which means this needs to get put underneath that. That's the bracket. Bracket gets mounted into position just there, and then the Bullbar gets mounted to those brackets, and there's one on each side. I think we're going to have to remove the front bumper. And the reason why I say that is we have these long boys, these long doodads, and they essentially go up through this hole, but we have two extra nuts, which are these bad boys. So I feel like with those two extra nuts, in order for me to be able to put the nuts on this bolt, we're going to have to remove this so that way I can access that. So essentially, to remove your front silver grill bit, you want to remove, there's one screw there, one screw here, and you got four of those little weird poppety rivety things. They're really gross, and I've broken I think 3 of them. I don't like them, they're bad. Anyway, removing this, remove these screws, remove the little pop rivet, and then you just gently pull it out and then grab it from the bottom here, and it sort of unclips. You can see there's a bunch of clips along here. So you've got your fasteners at the top and then the clips at the bottom. Slots out, put that down somewhere safe. And then to remove this part, it's a little bit more involved. There's screws, so you have 1, 2, 3 screws. You've got a couple of those little poppety rivet bits. You have one up here, so you just want to get your screwdriver or the little tool, pop that out. Then you want to come to your doors and undo the side step clips. So these two things need to come out. This needs to come off. There's a little clip in there that you can sort of reach. You'll be able to see it. There's a couple more underneath here. There's 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. But you essentially just want to go around, it's the same on the other side, and remove all these little pop rivet thingos. Schmitzel there. Sweet, so that's the little clip that I was talking about, which you can see slightly bent, but she looks alright. Oh, hail fucking Hallelujah. There we have it. Front bumper thing is off. So, I don't think Susie was anticipating the van to look like this. Suze, any thoughts?
I'm in shock.
Emma, what do you think? Essentially, I need to get a larger drill bit because this doodad, this little drill bit isn't big enough for that. Oh, I need to make that hole big enough so that we can put this bolt through it. And I just measured it, and I'm pretty sure I need a 13mm drill bit, and that should be sweet. What do you think, Suze?
I don't know. as long as you put this car back together, we're fine.
These clips are terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just keep breaking. So we're gonna have to get more.
Oh, you're going the hardest way through.
Emma, the little off-road dog. So yeah, I'll probably head off to Bunnings or the local automotive store, get the appropriate drill bit, and then we should hopefully be able to fit this. So we got the 12mm drill bit, and now we're going to drill a hole in the frame. So essentially what this hole is going to do, it's going to allow us to mount the bracket, which is this bad boy, up on underneath. Which essentially gets positioned like that. And then if you bring the camera up here, you can see there's a couple of holes there. We're going to use this one just there. But as it stands, that hole is a little bit too small to fit this bolt and nut through, which is why we need to drill it out. Safety glasses, always very important. There you go. Yeah, so through that hole. There we can see it just from the top. Okie dokie, I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, I'm gonna have to put you down. So yeah, I just finished drilling that hole with the 12mm drill bit, and now this bolt should fit through. Line it up, boom, bingo bongo, there's the bolt. Happy days. And then the plate gets put on top of that with some washers, and yeah, looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. A little bit of an update, just applying some paint to the areas in which we drilled. That little hole was a little bit of a pain, but we got it done. But yeah, essentially because these little radiator bit thingos were in the way, we had to drill from the top, which is why the hole is on like a bit of an angle. But essentially just using some, I think it's, what is it? Zinc Gal Deluxe Metal Shield spray paint, applying it with a paintbrush, that way I don't mess up the whole body. But yeah, just touching up that little part so we don't have any exposed metal. And now have just mounted this bracket. It utilizes these cool little doodads. It's like a little bit of metal, you sort of bend it into place. I've got one of them in, so you can see that one was pretty easy to put in. This one, which goes into this hole, is a bit more difficult. There's these little like radiator / AC pipes in the way. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. Essentially, they come straight, like a straight bit of metal, and then you bend this so that you can get the nut washer and crash washer in place. So yeah, I'll do that now, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Yeah, so the next step was to take this bolt, which sort of comes with the kit, route it through this hole, and then it comes up through the hole that we drilled. You put the metal blanking plate on top, followed by your regular washer, and then there's a crush washer in there, and then just a nut. So whack her on, and it should be good to go. Good girl. A little helper. We had to remove the little toot toot horn so that we could access the bolt up here. But similar to what we did before, we essentially just run the bolt, this bolt, up through the frame, put the plate down. From the plate we have the washer, then the crush washer. Need to tighten that down. So my understanding is that these top ones get tightened down pretty tight. You want to leave these bottom two relatively loose, just so you can line this up when we need the Bullbar on. So yeah, so essentially we have these two bolts. They're these little fandangle switch things that you sort of like bend into place, and you just insert your bolt with the washers, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So we've just installed the brackets for the Bullbar. Now we're going to be putting back on the front bumper. Pretty easy. This sort of like clips into place, and there's a couple of little grommet type clips and a couple of screws. Next step for me is get that back on the van, and then the Bullbar can be mounted onto these brackets. So we've already got our brackets installed. That was pretty good. It's looking pretty good. What do you think, Suze?
Much better than this morning.
Have I regained your faith and trust? And look, there's only a few broken bits. But there's not really any loose screws. So you know you've sort of done a good job when you don't really have loose screws. As far as the broken bits go, I've ordered some extra clips from Amazon. They should be arriving, and then I'll just install them when they get here. But so far, so good. Okay, so Suze is just about to help me install the Bullbar, finally. I'm gonna need another set of hands. Ta-da!
Oh, where's the number plate? You have to stick it on that, eh?
Very good point, Suze. I guess don't do what I did. Remove your number plate first. We can still remove it, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that goes there. Looking mean, eh?
Mean.
Now we just need to make sure everything's good and tight, which is the German spec for torque. Get it? Good and tight. I've got safety gear on. You're probably asking yourselves why that is. Well, we've got to cut this little bracket. This little bracket is used to sort of attach that, or it's used as one of the points to attach that tray to protect that thingy bob. Not entirely sure what it is. If you do know what that is, throw it in the comments. That'll be greatly appreciated. But yeah, so that metal plate protects that thing. And as you can see, that metal plate is fouling out because there needs to be a hole there. So the plan is to cut this little tab off. I'm going to be doing it with a renovator. What do you think, Suze?
I feel like that's dodge.
Don't do what I'm doing. I don't think cutting towards yourself is advised, but when in Rome, haha. Ta-da! So now that should no longer foul out. I'm just going to hit it with some rust-proofing spray paint and we should be good. I do not think that it's a structural part, which is why I was like, it's okay to cut. But yeah, the more you know. But that's what the Bullbar looks like. It's looking pretty spiffy. I think Susie's pretty happy with it all. Let's get this bad boy on. Make sure everything's good and tight. And then, yeah, that'll be the Bullbar install done. Overall, pretty straightforward install. What do you think, Sus?
The beginning didn't seem that straightforward, but...
Yeah, well, hopefully this video allows you to do this significantly easier than what it was for us. With that being said, it was easy enough. Just a little bit of know-how, a little bit of troubleshooting, but super, super happy with it. It looks super clean. We'll get a nice video of it out of the driveway soon. Peace.